Awesome.
It's recording, right?
Yes.
All right, recording slides. What are we doing today? So first, just not what we're doing. I'm not going to go over every funding opportunity available for grad students and postdocs. There are hundreds of thousands of different funding opportunities out there, and there's no way I can just tailor that for one presentation. So what I am going to do is I am going to give you some tools and resources, both online and both people, and here at UTSA, who can help you find funding, who can help you apply for funding. If you have any questions, these are the folks you're going to reach out to. I want to make sure that you know that all of these opportunities and these people and resources are available for you. And we're going to talk about research grants, we're going to talk about travel grants, fellowships, scholarships, and miscellaneous funding that can just be for you from different groups. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about when you're applying for grants or any type of funding is to consider the due date first off. Are you going to have enough time to get this application in? Are you going to have enough time with specific university rules to get that application in? And it's going to depend also on what type of grant you're looking at. So if this is one of the bigger grants, say for NIH or NSF, you're going to need to follow UTSA's policies because we have a whole research team who's available and specific people in each college to help you prepare your proposal, get all your documents in order, make sure everything is included that needs to be included and it's formatted properly. So first, you need to know is that UTSA has a 15-5-day policy. So you need to give your research team and the team at UTSA at least 15 business days notice that you want to apply for this funding opportunity. And these days are in place to help them help you. So it's not supposed to be prohibitive. It's supposed to allow enough time for them to be able to help and make sure that you're submitting the best proposal that you can submit. And anything that you see in the PowerPoint slides, that's this orange underline color is a link, and it'll take you to that specific webpage to give you more details about these. So I'm just here to make sure that you're aware that these are things you're going to need to consider. So the second thing is eligibility. Whenever you find a grant or some type of funding opportunity that you'd like to apply for, check to see what the eligibility requirements are. Some may be specifically for grad students, some may be for postdocs, some may be for faculty. You can also check international status. This is what actually prompted this whole presentation, is a student was asking for grants specifically for those who are international. So you need to check those because some grants allow it and some don't, and it's going to be very specific to each particular one. And then consider your budget. So how much money do you need for your project? How much money is the grant offering? And we also, again, we're going to have folks at your college and folks at UTSA who can help you with the budget. They'll help you. We've got standard templates that they'll use. So this isn't a big, scary kind of thing. We've got a lot of help and resources for everyone. And specifically your college research administration team. So each of the colleges here at UTSA has a specific team dedicated to helping you with your proposals. If you click on that link, it'll take you to the list of them, so you can see who you can reach out to if you need help. And if y'all have any questions too at any time, please feel free to stop me. Okay, so we're going to go over a whole host of resources that you can use to search for this funding. Starting with some of the bigger ones, the NIHs, the NSFs, the federal level funding. Those are those big grants for fellowships, for research. And then we're going to look into some other areas you might not have considered, some I hadn't considered until they were pointed out to me, and other resources here specifically at UTSA for funding. And we're going to go through each of these. So the first one, grants.gov. Is anyone here familiar with that? Yeah, good. Okay. So grants.gov is the federal grants searching database. So every federal agency puts their grants on this website where you can search through it. I've got a screenshot here. You see the arrow? Okay. Where you can create an account with grants.gov and you can save your searches. You can tailor them to whatever your topic is, what you're looking for. And I'm going to walk through a little bit about how to start a search. So when you click up at the top, They've got search grants. I also wanted to point out there's Learn Grants, which is a great resource for finding more information about grants, how they work. They've got YouTube videos, they've got blogs, they've got all sorts of things to answer questions. There's a whole Grants 101 YouTube series on there that you may want to check out when you're looking at these particular grants. But search grants, when you're looking for funding, will take you to this page. It's a little clunky. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah, you know, it's if you ever open a grant opportunity that you want to look at, I recommend right clicking and opening it in a new tab. If you open it and then try to go back, it kind of redoes the whole table. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's there. It's got every opportunity. And what I want to point out to help narrow down your search first off the bat is here. You can put your keywords. So whatever your topic is that you're looking for. And I believe it uses like the Boolean keyword searching. So put words together in quotes. If you want to look up two different types of phrases, put and between them. And then you can also, there's websites that tell you about different ways to search keywords, which you could just Google and look up, it'll pop up. And then there's this opportunity status. So the first thing I usually do, if I'm looking for something right away, especially if you're a postdoc and you have limited time to look for something, I usually just check the posted ones. There we go, okay. I usually look at the posted ones. You can look at forecasted, but sometimes those are more than a year out. Those might not be helpful for you, but that's what that means. Forecasted means the grant opportunity is not available yet. You can't apply yet, but it's likely to be available in the future. Posted means it's open now, and you can apply. Closed, if you want to do research on grants that have been available in the past and may be coming around again, that would be probably the only reason you'd want to use that one. And archived, similar, those are also closed and not open right now. Any questions about this? And you can also sort them too by opportunity number. The one I would usually go by is posted or closed date, but I would really recommend checking each individual grant because sometimes those may or may not line up right. So this is just a zoom in on that keyword box. And I couldn't fit it in the first screen cap, so this is the second one here. Remember the posted and forecasted. Just below that is eligibility. Again, you always consider this whenever you're applying or looking for something. For this one in particular, you want to check public and state controlled institutions of higher ed. So that's something available for folks at a university. They've got other private institutions, they've got nonprofits, businesses, and those are all in here. And so you just kind of want to filter those out right off the bat. Okay, so when you find an opportunity, think back to that first table, you click on it. This is what the page that's going to open. You're going to see a little summary of that particular grant. And up here is where this is the synopsis. So this page is just the general breakdown of the information for that particular grant. And let's see here. If you scroll down that page, you'll see this is where just double check that you're eligible for this particular grant. And then scroll down even further on the front, that first page, this is all on the first page. It'll have a link to the particular call. So this really here in grants.gov is a summary of it. That link is going to take you to the particular call. That's going to have a lot more information about the particular grant. That's going to get into the details about what they're looking for, the review criteria. That's going to take you to the home page of that particular call. Sometimes though, they don't have a link and they just have PDFs. So if that's the case, again, back up at the top, that same first page, if you click on related documents, it'll take you to this page, which is where the PDF of that particular call for proposals will be stored. So you want to click on the one that's got the information about the size of the document. These won't, if you click on it, nothing happens. This will help, this will download that particular call. And a lot of these are those big, again, federal grants. So I'm going to move on to one more type of search that may be a little bit more appropriate if you're working perhaps with faculty and they're going to be the PI on the grant and help you find some of those funding. And then we're going to get into really specific grad student postdoc opportunities. After we do, sorry, one more quick stop with NIH. They have specific pages, again, for predoctoral training, grad students, postdocs, and early career postdocs. You can be in some of these as well, so you want to check those out. The link, I hit it, but it's up here. It'll take you right to this page. So you can click on that and find these particular opportunities. And the way NIH works with their grants is they all have a lettering system. And the particular ones that you're going to want to focus on as postdocs and grad students are those that start with the letter F for fellowships, and then those that start with the letter K for career. Might be a little off, but that's what that stands for. And again, all the links are up here. You'll find out more information about those particular types of grants when they're available. And these are the big grants that, again, you're going to want to go through UTSA and get their help with to apply. You are not going to just apply for these grants on your own. You'll have a whole team helping you with these. And then similar for NSF, for the more science, engineering, technology folks, same deal. They've got grant funding specifically for graduate students and for postdocs. I know there's a lot of turmoil. Yes.
For NSF, I believe, or like all what I looked at were requiring like citizenship or green card. Do you think there is the first question that you have? I'm a postdoc. I'm interested in actually things that works for postdocs, but without any form of like citizenship or green card.
Yeah, no, definitely something to consider. I don't know off the top of my head what theirs are particularly. There's probably a general rule, or each call will tell you in there will be a section for eligibility. Check to see if it's for US citizens only, or if it allows more than that. I know NIH has some grants that are US citizens only and some that are not. NSF, I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm not in the STEM field, so I don't know that off the top of my head. But you should be able to find it in the call, readily available. But just, yeah, make sure you check it before you get too far into the weeds with a particular grant.
We need to X that out. There's an X at the far right, yeah.
There we go. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay. So yeah, big major ones here. Again, check each one in particular to see if you are indeed eligible for that. This Faculty Insight is a tool for UTSA students. I know we have some non-UTSA students on the call, or I believe we might, but this is particularly for UTSA students. The website to get to this page is right here. It's called the UTSA Research Portal. And what I'm going to talk about particularly right now is this Faculty Insight tool. And this would be if you're working with a PI and you perhaps want to just be a co-PI on a grant, if you're not looking for it particularly for yourself or as key personnel, if that's something you are looking to do. So you're actively on a grant, actively working with someone to apply for it, and perhaps they're looking for something for their project, you can check this tool out or suggest it to them as well. I'm not sure how many faculty actually know it's available. Or if you're looking for someone that you want to collaborate with, faculty members, this searches everyone here at UTSA based on their research interests. So it'll take you, this link will take you to this page. This is on the top of it, and you'll click right here, this button. You're going to need your ABC123 to log in. And this is what the page is going to look like when you get there. Up here is where you will put in the research topic that you're looking for, either for funding or for finding that faculty member that you want to work with. And when you hit search, I put in health, it brings up the faculty members who have the most works using that word in their research. I will say sometimes it can be a little finicky, and if someone just randomly has the word somewhere in a paper, it pulls it. So I would highly recommend checking each faculty member and then their works specifically to make sure that it is pulling the right thing. It's an internal system, so it's not flawless. But it'll give you a good idea where you can start your search. And in addition to showing you faculty, it shows you funding opportunities. So similar to grants.gov, this has all of those federal opportunities, I believe, and more. This has funding from what is it? USAID. That's okay. So that one's also in grants.gov, but this one has funding from like the EU. This one has funding from foundations, I believe. So it's a little bit more expansive. The drawback is there's less criteria that you can filter on. Really, the only one that you can filter is what organizations you're looking at. You can get rid of perhaps like the CDC or something if you don't want to look at that one. But these are here, and you can click on these and it'll take you to a little bit, a pop-up of the summary of the grant, and then it'll take you to a link to more information about that particular grant. And the last thing you can also check in Faculty Insight up here is networks. So it'll show you all the faculty who are connected to one another based on that topic, who are internal to UTSA and who are external. So if you need someone external for your dissertation committee, if you're a grad student, if you're looking for someone else to work with outside the university or inside the university, this kind of gives you an idea of who you might want to contact. And the last thing, sorry, is their recent activities. So these are publications, these are conference proceedings, who's done work recently on that topic and what it is. And you can click on it and it'll take you out like to the article link. Questions? Yes.
So the funding tab was about the faculty members who has an available funding resource based on the grants,
No.
or
sorry.
just the available grants and funding resource.
Yes, no, great questions. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's the regular funding like grants.gov. It's not tied to faculty. Yeah, it's its own separate thing. Yeah, I just kind of tied the two together, but no, thank you for that question. Anything else? I would go back to the page and show you, but I don't know how to do it with this mouse right now. But yeah, it's separate, completely separate from faculty here.
I think that's from the research group, right? It's from the research, UTSA research group make that faculty funding connection.
It's pulling in like available funding opportunities. It's not pulling in funding that faculty have.
Okay.
Is that? Yeah, it's pulling, yeah, opportunities that you can apply to that are open now. That's what it's pulling in.
Actually, I saw it.
Anything else? Anything on the chat? We good there?
Not so far.
All right, so moving on. Okay. So those are two kind of ways that you can search for funding that's out there, that's available. Now we're kind of getting into ways where people have already done the searching and you're just kind of using that effort that they've already done to look for other opportunities. So other universities have research departments like we do too, and some of them put funding opportunities on their websites. So all of these are links to different universities and then their database of funding that they've pulled that would be of interest to grad students, to postdocs, to faculty. So somewhere else, if you want to look and see what they've pulled out, it might be a little bit easier because sometimes they group them by particular topics. For example, UC Berkeley has general health and medicine ones up here. So you can see all of the funding available in that area, and it'll give you an idea of somewhere where to search that will fit with your topic. And these are just some examples you can look at. There's plenty more. There's certain ones, this one is particular to postdoc students. Some of these, I don't know off the top of my head, some of these are very up to date. Others may be a year or two old. So you're just gonna wanna take the time to go through it, see what's out there, click on the particular links, go to the calls, make sure they're still active. Professional organizations is another great place to find funding for your research projects, for travel, sometimes just for you, depending on what the grant is for, like an award. And I've thrown up a couple up here. Each of these links will take you to their funding opportunity page. Some of them you have to be a member of that particular organization in order to qualify. Some of them you don't. Again, check the eligibility, see if you are a fit for that particular grant, check the date, make sure you have enough time to apply for it. And for these ones, when we get into like the travel type grants, some of those don't have to go through the whole 15 5-day rule, the little smaller ones. I'm going to tell you who you can contact to just double check and make sure, because if the funding is coming to you, it's a little bit different between the funding coming to the university. So sometimes those rules don't apply. then I'm gonna give you contact information that you can ask, for each particular grant to make sure you're going through the proper process to get it. Yeah, you check out each of these organizations' pages, and then also you can follow some of them on social media as well. They'll put the announcements up there, or talk about what might be coming down the road, and you can just kind of keep an eye out on those, available opportunities. And then just a quick note, if you are going to a conference, submit your papers for conference awards. I can't tell you how many committees I've been on where we've had no submissions, and then the money that is tied to that award just isn't awarded. So don't think that you might have really steep competition for some of these. Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 people who are submitting something. So if you've got a paper for a class, see if you can like kind of refurbish it to fit their guidelines and submit it. You've usually got a pretty good chance with winning some of these. So just something to keep in mind, particularly for grad students. Don't be afraid. So another place to find funding, check other grad students and other postdocs, their CVs, see where they've gotten funding. Particularly those, yeah, right? Particularly those who are in the same department as you or in the same research area as you. If their CVs are available online, if they've got a website, or if they're on their department page, just take a look through some of their awards. And you can see this person here went to the American Sociological Association. So one of those professional orgs that we just talked about. And this one in particular has different divisions. So sometimes within a large professional organization, they've got individual divisions focused on specific topics, and each division might have a paper competition or some other way of getting funding. So always be on the lookout for those. And these ones usually aren't as big, most often are not as big as your big NIH fellowships. These might be closer to the 200 to 2,000 range, but funding is funding. So just want to point out that these are also available. And then search engines. I threw in, what is it? Grants for Health Research postdocs. And the first couple ones that popped up were websites I actually hadn't been to before. And they had lists of appropriate funding opportunities that you can check out. So there is a lot out there. There's a lot changing every day. So just, don't be afraid to start looking and just kind of type in generic terms, and then you can narrow it down from there. And each of these are lists for different funding opportunities that are available for grad students or STEM grad students. I pulled all grad students for this one. Sorry, no postdocs in here. But you can also do the same search for postdocs as well. There's a lot of resources out there for finding funding opportunities. It takes some time. I recommend maybe just to get started, take an hour, sit down, and to start just searching through things and just get a feel for what might be available to you. And now we're getting to more UTSA specific. This is the one-stop enrollment page where they've got scholarships. This font might be too small for y'all here. I can barely read it. Sorry. It's asking if grad students can apply. The answer is yes. It's asking if international students can apply. The answer is yes. So the link to this page is on here, and you can go and I believe you have to sign up first, but then you can search this whole database for different scholarships that might be applicable to you. And I also included a little link down here in the bottom right, just kind of discussing the difference between scholarships and grants and fellowships, because there are some nuances between the different funding mechanisms. Questions? So that is one UTSA tool. There's also different tools and opportunities within each college, within each department. You just need to do a little searching on the website, or ask your advisor, see if they know of any opportunities within your college and department. Right here, I didn't know until I looked it up, but these are all the HCAP ones that are available. They've got fellowships for undergrads, for grad students. They've got travel support for conferences, dissertation and thesis support, and that link is right here. But I did a quick search. College of Science has opportunities, KC, Engineering and Integrated Design has opportunities. Grad school, y'all can get your posters printed here for free with the grad school. Or,
Travel grant too.
and travel grant, yeah, I actually got one of those. So they're here, they're available, they work, y'all have people you can talk to too about those. And yeah, so check out your particular department, see if they've got anything available there. And then this is the link to the main UTSA Office of Research, which was formerly Red Key. I don't know if you've been here for more than a couple of years, but they recently did a whole reorganization of the process of the group. So it's now called the UTSA Office of Research, and they've got a lot of resources on their page as well. Questions? Okay.
There is a question.
Oh, there's a question.
Are there any restriction for current postdocs for applying grants? Like they need to define their PhD in recent years?
Yes, yeah, that could be part of the eligibility criteria. Did everybody get the question? So if you're a postdoc, do you have to have had your PhD within a certain amount of time if you can apply to certain grants? Yes, there are ones out there like that. That will tell you they're for early career researchers, and it'll say you need to have gotten your PhD in the last 5 years, the last 10 years, to be eligible to apply for this particular grant. Not all of them are like that. Like every grant out there might not have that kind of restriction on there, but there are some that if they are focusing on early career researchers or mid-career researchers or senior researchers, that might be in the eligibility criteria. So yeah, that's definitely something you're going to want to check out as well. Great question. And then the last little bit I want to talk about is ways to get your name out there and have the funding opportunities come to you. So this isn't something you should rely on for getting funding opportunities, but it's an extra kind of passive way to perhaps have someone send you an opportunity, be like, hey, I thought of you. I know this is your research topic. I saw this. You might want to apply. So put networking up here in parentheses because I hate that word. It just kind of aggravates me because whenever you see it, no one really tells you what that means. So I've given you some kind of solid action steps you can take to start getting your name out there, start getting your research out there, start letting people know what you're working on, and perhaps they'll start sending you, if they could send you something that might fit. And it's way up here, but I put a little post to an article that talks about the strength of weak ties, and weak ties are those relationships, those social relationships that aren't super close. So they're not like your mentor or your parents. Those are associates, colleagues from other universities, and those people who are just tangentially related to you or that acquainted with you. Those are the ones who are more likely to actually send job opportunity postings or funding opportunity postings. So that's just a little bit of evidence as to why getting your name out there is a good idea. So in addition to doing that, which I'll talk about in just a second, also just talk to your advisor, talk to faculty member in your department, see if they know of any funding opportunities, see if they're looking for someone to work with on a funding opportunity that they're applying for. Just kind of get your name out there and kind of get to meet those people who are working in your department. And talk to your fellow postdocs and graduate students as well. You'll learn a lot from everyone. And they can also be someone who might send you some information or a particular funding opportunity down the road. Conferences, that is a great way to get your name out there and not only presenting, but I highly recommend volunteering for division positions. Like a website manager, I did that in a couple different organizations, and as that person, I was the one that sent the job postings or the grant postings to then put on our website. So it's a good kind of touchstone position. It doesn't require a lot of work, but it kind of got you a lot of exposure. Or work the conference registration desk, so you can put names to faces as people check in. Attend division events at a conference. Like I said earlier, with the one student who had from the American Sociological Association, her grant, I believe, is from a particular division. So those divisions are based on research topic. If you can join that division and then go to their events, those might be a little bit smaller and you'll find people more closely matched to your research interests. You can also check the program, find faculty you might want to meet with or other grad students you might want to meet with and email them in advance for coffee or lunch. Or join mentoring or invention programs. I've done that with a couple different associations and I've met folks I wouldn't have normally met. I met, for example, someone who works at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. So learned about their funding opportunities there. There's a whole host of ways that you can make little action steps to meet other people and get your name out there. Something. Okay. And if you're a little more introverted, if you don't want to take those steps just yet, although website manager is also a good one for introverts because you're mostly online with that. You can make your own website. I have a WordPress.com website, super easy to set up. Please note that WordPress.com is different than WordPress.org. WordPress.com is free and a little bit simpler website tool to use. There's also Wix and other ones. If you're savvy with creating websites, you can definitely put a lot more attention into that and make it a little bit flashier. But if you just want to get your name out, your CV, your name, that's pretty much really what you need out there. I recommend checking out these two. Google Scholar lets everyone create an account. If you have publications, or even if you don't, I think, you can claim all the ones that are on there, and it'll put it with your name and verify that you're at the university. I know when I was a managing editor, I would use that to find folks to review articles. So that's another way of getting your name out there and letting people connect you to your work. Professional social media, if you're so inclined, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, Blue Sea, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Go ahead and create an account. You don't have to post anything. I don't post anything on mine anymore. I just use it to scroll through and follow all the different agencies and find the funding opportunities that they're posting. Yeah, you can be as active or as inactive on those sites as you want, but yeah, it's just another way to find perhaps announcements that you might not otherwise see. In addition to joining listservs too, as well for those professional organizations. And then just don't forget to share the opportunities. If you come across something that you think a colleague might qualify for, share it with them. So just kind of building that reciprocal relationship. Any questions? Any other suggestions?
There is a question
Oh,
here.
question.
Some funding opportunities are willing to reimburse students for travel and other conference-related fees. These fees can be very expensive, especially if the conference is national or international. Do you have any recommendation or suggest any resources on how to cover the cost initially?
Yes, oh, initially, oh, they snuck that word in there, okay. Initially, oh, I don't know about initially, that's a really good question, and it's a really big concern, I know, for across grad students and postdocs. If you yourself don't have the funding initially to buy the plane ticket, to buy the hotel, any kind of travel, it's really prohibitive. And a lot of universities and a lot of travel grants, unfortunately, work on the reimbursement process. So you have to front the money. Then if you get the travel grant, you get reimbursed afterwards. I wish I had a better answer to that because I don't like that process, but that is mostly what you're gonna find. I don't.
Isn't it graduate student or postdoc faculties fund generally help for the?
Faculty can, yeah, it depends on your faculty, your advisor, talk to them. They might be able to help front from their research funds. That's gonna have to be a kind of a one-on-one conversation with them. Yeah, no, that's a great question. I am not aware off the top of my head of something that funds it first.
Maybe some cases, the conference itself could do something, maybe waive registration fees or something, if she or these one who asked the question can reach out to the organizers. Especially for grad students, they've been very cooperative, just in addition.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Were you able to hear that, on Zoom. Reach out to the conference, and see if they're able to waive the travel fees, if you state your case. Or a lot of them also have volunteer opportunities too, where you can volunteer again to work the registration desk. And then they'll take care of your travel fees or your registration fees. So that's, yeah, it's a great suggestion.
Yeah, and also for graduates from graduate school, we have a membership fees. But again, that's not you can take that actually, if you're considered like, you'll be member of the American Microbiology Society, something like that. You take the membership and get reimbursed from graduate school.
Mm.
So that can be done in advance if you're planning to go for seminar later on that, or conference later.
Any other suggestions or questions? No. Okay.
One more. David, in order to get faculty jobs, do we need to have grant winning experience in our CV?
It's gonna depend on your research topic, the department that you're applying for. I don't think there's a universal rule that you have to have grant funding on there. It probably looks good. I would suggest, trying to get it if possible, or at least showing that you're actively applying to grants. Even if you're not getting them, that also shows you have the initiative and that you're interested in, doing so, and that you have the experience. But yeah, it's gonna depend on your particular program, where you're applying, whether or not that is something that is expected. Any other questions? So now, we just went through a whole host of tools and resources for finding funding, or for having the funding find you. And now I just want to kind of briefly cover how to apply or start your proposal at UTSA. This is mainly for those giant fellowships, those giant NIH, NSF, or larger research grants, where they're going to be distributed through the university. And that's going to be, this is again, that UTSA research portal where we had faculty insight, that second search tool. It's on that same page, this research portal. And again, this is different than the scholarship hub. This is more focused particularly on research. If you scroll down a little bit, I think it's about halfway down the page, you'll see PI portal. Go to the site, and I think it's this one, where you'll have to do this. You'll hit enter, and you're gonna get a 404 error, and it won't take you anywhere. Exit out of it, go back and click go to site again, and then it'll take you. I don't know why it does it, but it does. So it should take you to this page, which is your own personal dashboard. This is just mine, for example. I couldn't get the whole screen grab on here, so that's why there's little instructions. But click my proposals and then open a new proposal. And this is what's called a notice of intent. So it's abbreviated NOI. This is not to be confused with an LOI, which is a letter of intent, which a lot of call for proposals will request. That's coming from that particular agency. This NOI is specific to UTSA. And this is what kicks off getting your research team involved, getting perhaps people like me, who are the senior grant development managers, involved, and helping you with the proposal. And again, talk to your advisors as well about perhaps when you do need to do this process. So it's a quick one-page form, name, email, department. Some of these pre-populate, the project title, if you know it, the sponsor and funding agency. My mouse disappeared again. Sorry. And then a couple other information. I think it's like the abstract, the amount, and then scroll down. And this is where you're going to submit. RSC is an old acronym from before the Office of Research reorganized last year. But you're going to click that button to submit it. But before you do that, this question right here from for more information and additional resources, say yes. That triggers at least in our college, that triggers the senior grant development manager to then be brought in on that particular application. And then here is everyone, all the senior grant development members from each particular college. I put all our pictures up here so you know we're real human people. We're here to help. If you want to help, everyone's super excited about helping folks apply to grants. I asked them if I could share all their names here, so, and they all said yes, they're super excited. So there's a lot of people out there who want to help you with your proposals. And what we do in particular, it kind of varies by college, but we'll help with editing, we'll help with making sure stuff is formatted correctly, that you're following guidelines. It's a little more into the actual writing of the narrative and checking through that. But yes, so there are folks out here who can help you, and if you've just got questions, feel free to reach out to anyone in your particular college, and they'll be willing to help answer those. And then, I have accepted a new position. I will not be the SGDM after March 14th, but I'm still available for questions. I love working with grad students, postdocs. Like I said, like Dr. Joshua said, I was a postdoc here, so I understand the process of being a postdoc here at UTSA. Happy to help, any kind of questions. Yeah, I just know that was a lot of information, so I wanted to put a nice calming picture on here at the end to open it up for Q&A. Thank you.